Hello and welcome to Just Bernie's Adventures for 2020. This year seemed to start off wonderfully with my amazing friend Megan from Canada coming to stay with me for 3 months. We then went exploring to all these wonderful places while she was here. And I really got the bug for walking. I was finding myself going out for walks and hikes every single day in the winter. And coming across these beautiful flowers was just something incredible. And the majority of them are all wild. This video is a little bit longer than I would normally do, but I just couldn't bear to cut anything out. And in fact, I still haven't got all of the pictures, but it's just amazing memories for me from all the way through the whole year. Those were the first snow photos that we took when we was walking around the Vianos Plateau, and these are more adventures, the Ruvus Forest, more snow. We really did have an incredible winter, and this was all before Corona, or should I say before the first lockdown. My hiking adventures started with this very first road trip with the amazing Serena and Kira. Serena had just arrived when we were put into lockdown around about March time, and basically we didn't even know each other, and we basically become great friends, and she was staying with me, ended up staying with me for 4 months, and just to show her a bit more than Klima, Kira and I decided to take Serena to these wonderful places on our road trip. Then we decided to continue because we got the bug for it. So Serena and I continued our road trip to Elefanisi, Balos, and it really was absolutely incredible because there was nobody here. Lockdown had just been opened up basically, but no tourists were allowed onto the island. So all of these fantastic places were just deserted. Serena and I really were very, very lucky. Serena and I really did have some incredible hikes, but unfortunately Serena's knee played up and she could no longer hike, which meant I was then going, oh, what do I do? Do I go off? Do I not? Anyway, Serena, with all of her incredible encouragement, was just like, get out there, go do it. So I did. It was then just myself, the puppies, and we had an incredible time doing all of the E4 trails, exploring some fantastic places. And yeah, really, I just kept on. I just had the bug. And every time, even after the first road trip, I said, yeah, that's it. Then I did the second one. Then it was the third one. And I just couldn't stop, because I would save up a little bit of money and I would go again, and I was camping. I was sleeping in my car. I was taking all my food with me. So it wasn't actually costing a lot of money. It was just the time. And of course, well, I didn't have any work. So I had plenty of time. And I just got the bug for traveling around this beautiful island, basically. This walk, I have to say, Agurameli to Suya, was probably one of my toughest walks I have done. Now, I would do it again, but I certainly, I would do it a bit different, but it really was one of my toughest ones. So if anybody is ever thinking of doing that, please contact me. I can give you some tips. This next part, the Sugia to Paliakora, absolutely stunning, and you can do it in various ways, catching the boat to Suya, catching the boat to Paliakora, walking there, walking back. Yeah, some absolutely fantastic ways of doing it. And as soon as tourism was allowed onto Crete, I had my fabulous friend Danny phone me and say, can I please come hiking with you? And I was like, oh, of course you can. So I worked out all of our fantastic routes that he would like, and we set off on our merry little way, hiking all of the E4 trails, gorges, and yeah, we really did have an absolutely fabulous time together. I'm very much looking forward to Danny coming back this year. There is something very, very special about the Samaria Gorge, and we were very lucky and it was just empty. And just as I thought all of my road trips were coming to an end, my amazing friend Pella called me and said, I've got 4 days off of work. Do you want to go hiking? And I was like, of course I do. And I suggested going to the east side of Crete. We both hadn't been there before, and it was truly a very, very special place. Kato Zakros, which is where we stayed, we both just fell in love with, and we used it for our base to do all of these hikes you see now. And yeah, truly an amazing 4 days, and I certainly would go back there again this year, next year, the year after. Really, really great. Pella and I have been very fortunate enough to be hiking all year. We've been to some incredible places in the winter. The summertime, there was not so many hikes because Pella's obviously became extremely busy with work. But having the 4 days here, we really managed to see so much of the East Coast. And the Chocolocoloca Gorge is one of her favourites, as is mine. Yes, looking back at these photos really puts a big smile on my face. And some of the gorges we just have to say no to. This one was so difficult, especially with the dogs. So we had to say no to it. But it was still fun just goofing around at the entrance to it. And as peak season hit, I really didn't want to stop walking. So I just ended up doing walks all the way around my local area. And this was one of them, Agiglini to Triopatra. What a fantastic walk. I wouldn't necessarily do it again because especially in the height of the season, but really good to do it the once. And well, you just look at the photos, absolutely incredible. And how can I forget the Kefali night hike where Kira thought we was going down to a beach and instead I took her up to the mountain. She wasn't particularly happy on this one, but she loved it by the end of it, which was great. Truly incredible seeing the moonrise and the sunset. It's funny, just looking back at all the photographs, I really realised how addicted to hiking around Crete I became. Everything was all geared up for hiking. My brain just set onto where I could hike, how long it was going to take me. I was reading the book inside and out. Even when my mother came, which is here, she came on a hike with me, and she's not even a hiker. I mean, I'm so cruel, my poor mum. She really did do her best on the hikes that I took her on, but she's a more towny person. She's not an outdoor hiker. So I managed to treat her to lots of lovely beaches and, yes, some Prosecco, why not? And took her to, this is Bernie's Beach, which was amazing. To be quite honest with you, just having my lovely mum here made the whole year for me because I didn't think I was going to get to see her. And of course, what do you do when your mum leaves? Well, you feel sad, especially with what's going on and not knowing when we're going to see each other again. So what did I do? I threw myself right into the book again. And by this point, I realized that I didn't have, well, I had probably about 20 more hikes to do out of the 65. But they were all literally around the island. So it was going to take, again, some planning to actually do them all. But at this stage, I was kind of very confident that I was going to complete the book. The Crete guidebook I was using has literally been an inspiration, and a lot of the time when I went to a certain area because of the book, I would then find other walks that weren't in the book at all, which really made, it opened my eyes up to literally there are so many walks and hikes and beaches and mountains to walk and explore in and around Crete. For me, actually, to finish the hiking book, I had to go back to the East Coast to finish a couple of the hikes. I had to go back over to the West Coast. So logistically, I was everywhere again, but I managed to again stay in my car, turn that into a camping car, and by the end of it I had 4 dogs in there and me and all the sleeping stuff. Yeah, it was it was tight in there, but we all snuggled up, and because we're so exhausted from all the walks, we just slept, and then we were ready for the next day, which was fabulous. The most fantastic thing about Crete, and in fact all of my videos that I've managed to do and the book and other books, is that there is still so many walks and hikes to do. Even now I'm coming up with new hikes in and around my area because we're back down in a lockdown, and I didn't even know that they existed. So for me, I'm still, the passion and the excitement is still here, and it's wonderful. This is another gorge not yet completed. It will be 3rd time lucky, and hopefully that will be sometime in the summer of 2021. I have had some incredible companions along my walks and my hikes. The main people obviously being Pella and Kira. They've been on the majority of my hikes. Serena, of course, you've been incredible. Danny, my star guest appearance with Danny, literally you were just awesome. And my mum, of course, she was brilliant. And I can't think of anybody else that's joined me on any of my hikes. I'm sorry if I've missed you out. And everybody that has been following me, whether it be on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, from close friends and family to complete strangers that I've never met before. I cannot thank you enough for following me on my adventures throughout this year. I suppose mainly it's not even this year, it's the last 6 months with the YouTube channel. So yes, I can't thank you enough for following me, for sharing your love for what I have been doing as well. And with there being no sign of work in the touring world, which is my normal profession, I've kind of been working out what I need to do and how I need to earn some cash, because my lovely pot is not going to last forever. So after a lot of people asking me about hiking guided tours and walks and all things like that, I am trying to put together basically a Just Bernie Adventures, walking and hiking. Not quite sure how it's going to plan out at the moment, but to be quite honest with you, everybody's unique, you know, whether that be in what you actually want to do, levels of hiking, and I really can say that I could cater for everybody now. You know, even if you didn't even want to go hiking and I could take you on boats and you go for little strolls along the harbours of places, I can do that. I can do anything. I really feel as though I know Crete extremely well now, and yes, I would just love to continue my love for it and actually have other people come and join me. So watch this space for Just Bernie Adventures, because they will be coming this year. Silurites, oh my goodness, this was my 100th hike and my last one in the book, and it was a pleasure to have done it with Pella. We took up some bubbles and celebrated. These last photos now are of my adventures during lockdown. So I'm still getting out and about and hiking, which is fabulous, but it does keep me sane. So 365 days later, 1,156 kilometers, which basically is a whole walking trip around the coastline of Crete, brings us back to Vianos, which is where it all started on the 1st of January 2020. This is now Just Bernie signing out.